up, everyone? This is the one and only Mark Spencer, and folks, I'm back once again with another episode of one of the world's most famous shows, the Soccer Review, being Mark Spencer, the 2008-2009 edition. Well, we're 2009, but we're happy to hear all you fans all over the world, and it's not hard. Sometimes you don't get to appreciate great things. So, I think the one thing I really want to talk about right now is transfers. And transfers is a big thing in football, especially in Europe. I mean, this is what it's all about. When you're in the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and there's always rumors that the big teams in all of Great Britain always want to pull a big move, something huge, gets all the fans pumped up. I know around the world there's been a big credit freeze, credit crunch, teams losing money, owners can't afford to actually get the big names like they used to, but there's still teams out there that nowadays, if you're going to spend the money on a player, you have to spend it right, because if you don't, you're going to get sacked, and because every time you spend money now, it has to count. So now, teams you got to watch for in this credit crunch now, it has to be teams like Chelsea. I mean, teams like Manchester City. I think with Manchester City, the rumor right now is Mark Hughes has money available and is here it is. Mark Hughes has money available, as well aware that players are needed to mold his side into the team of the world's beaters. So his employer expects AC Milan's Kaká, Valencia's David Villa, and Real Madrid's Iker Casillas, and have all been linked. And I don't know. I mean, three of the biggest names in the world. When you're talking about a player in David Villa, here's a guy has been injury prone in his career, but he's one of the greatest finishers in the world. He was a big reason why Spain won Euro 2008, and there's a reason Spain's one of the best teams in the world ranked number 2 right next to Italy. And there's a reason why. They have such great players on their team. It's been years and years and years since Spain ever won a trophy. And when they finally won it, it was special. And David Villa was a big reason why they won it, even though he missed the final game that won them the trophy. And there's no doubt in my mind, I think he'll be a real key. If whoever gets David Villa, I think they may really do some damage in the Premier League. Take a run at the title. They might finish real high instead of real low. With Iker Casillas, Real Madrid will never let that guy go. He is their number one goalkeeper for so many years. I've been watching Iker Casillas play in La Liga for about 10 years now. I cannot see him go from that team. Real Madrid will not let it happen. It doesn't matter how much money you give them. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Kaká is a different situation. It's a possibility. As I always can say, it's a possibility. Anything is possible in the land they call AC Milan in Italy. Anything's possible. Money talks. If you give him the right amount of money, I think Silvio Berlusconi might let Kaká go. He might. So we'll see what happens. Anything's possible, as the old saying is. And now with the big four also likely to be in action, Liverpool looking to strengthen their team. So I think the big question is the owners, George Gillette and Tom Hicks. I don't think Liverpool's going to do any big moves, but I think they're going to fix their team up with a good midfielder to play with their great player, Steven Gerrard. I think just watch for this team. I really feel that they're going to go somewhere called Newcastle United and try to grab Joey Barton from them for absolutely nothing. I think they'll take him on loan. I think loans will be a big factor in the transfer period this year, because I think teams are just so cash strapped they can't really afford to do those big transfer fees. So now you're going to see teams just do loan deals. So loan deals is actually a little bit better because the other team's actually paying the contract. You're just taking him on loan, so the other team's actually paying his contract. So it's just like a little bit of a trade-off. And there's rumors of Chelsea striker Didier Drogba going to Inter Milan, but I don't think that's going to happen. Peter Kenyon saying it's never going to happen. Scolari saying it'll never happen. So I don't know who to believe, but with Jose Mourinho, when he wants his guy, he gets his guy. And I could still see Didier Drogba going there in the summertime. When the season's all said and done, I think Didier Drogba will be Inter Milan striker next year, 2009-2010 season. So I don't see him going there anytime soon. And with Manchester United, do I think they're going to do any moves, any big moves? No, I think they're going to get little minor moves done. There's a few good players around the world I think they should go take a look at. I mean, talking about that same team again, Newcastle United, there's a few good players on that team, like Ona Fabi Martins. I think he'd be a good fit with Manchester United. They can maybe get rid of a few of their young strikers, like a Darren Fletcher or something, send them to another team to make that roster spot available for, a player like Ona Fabi Martins. I think that would be a good fit for them. I mean, anything's possible. And then we look at Arsenal. I think Arsenal is serious about getting a big name player. They've been rumored to probably get Kaka, but I don't think that's going to happen. They've been rumored to get so many big names around the world. I think they might go after maybe a David Villa. Maybe they might go after who's that guy again? What was another Dutch player? Plays in Europe somewhere, but yeah, they've been linked to so many players, but anything's possible. I mean, there's a lot of sellers. A lot of teams are selling off pieces. I know West Ham's trying to get rid of Craig Bellamy. My bad, folks. My memory's so screwed up, and I'm sorry about this. My brain is not working properly. I think they're going to be selling, and I think you watch for Bellamy. I think he might end up playing for a team called Arsenal. I think they're looking for someone has energy, has passion, and loves to score goals. And I think he's a guy that has that type of energy, has that type of the energy, the passion, and the drive to score a goal. And Santa Rocco Cruz, I think he'll be a Villa player when it's all said and done. Team him up with one of the great Norwegian players of all time. And, I think it's going to be pretty busy. And watch out for Hull City. I think they're going to go buy a player or two. Maybe some defense. I can see them going after Sutherland's defunct players such as Chimbanda, and maybe go after another one of their talented players on Sutherland. Maybe Dwight York. I mean, Dwight York is another great player. He's just sitting on the bench for Sutherland right now. I'd love to see him go to another team. I mean, after Roy Keane resigned, it kind of sucks. Roy Keane's always been rumored and linked to going to Manchester United when Sir Alex Ferguson calls it a career. And I think that still might happen. Well, folks, this is the one and only Mark Spencer. I'm sorry I didn't get into any other big news. So I'm glad you guys all got to watch this. This is the Soccer Review 2008-2009 part. What number we're on? I guess we're part 8, part 9, I guess. Well, part 9. I'm so glad to be able to do this again, folks. Happy New Year, everyone. I said that so many times, but, I love football. I've seen so many surprises this year. You look at Hull City, they've done unbelievable. Napoli in the Serie A have done unbelievable. Atletico Madrid, they've done unbelievable in the Champions League, moving on in the competition. You look at FC Porto, they're back in business. So much of these great teams around the world are all doing good. And I'm so glad to be able to watch all these games. Everton's looks like they're starting to find the fire again, starting to play the way they're supposed to play. Liverpool's on top of the Premier League. They might win their first title since 1993. That's a very long time. I can count it on my fingers, but it's unbelievable. I think in 2009 we're going to have Liverpool as champions of the Premier League, and we'll have Juventus, the champions of the Champions League. And you know what? And in the Serie A, Inter Milan will retain their title, but they'll have a tough run at it against AC Milan and Roma and the rest of those teams in the Serie A. And in the Spanish Liga, I'm taking Real Madrid to dethrone Barcelona again, win another title in back-to-back years. In Scotland, I'm taking Celtic. They should win, no problem. And in Portugal, I think Benfica will win their league, no problem. In Belgium, I'm going with Bruges, Club Bruges should win theirs too. And I'm going in Holland, I'm going with Feyenoord. I think they'll win again. They're just one of the best in the business, and you can't go wrong with them. Bayern Munich will win the Bundesliga this year, And that's it, folks. And in MLS, we already seen who won. So take care, folks. We'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.